What's up everybody, Teancum here with Sew Yeah Quilting. Now we are back with some tutorials. It's been a while since we've done a classic tutorial video, and we're going to be starting off with this amazing quilt called Switching Sides from Robert Kaufman. Let's get into it. Now guys, normally when we're doing a tutorial, we are using Sew Yeah patterns. However, this one has been such a good one in store for the last, I don't know, 5-6 years that we want to bring it to you guys. The pattern is called Switching Sides by Robert Kaufman. Link in the description below where you can go ahead and download it for yourself. It's a free pattern that they've offered for many years now, but we want to just draw a little bit of attention to it. Now as far as cutting instructions, I'm going to be cutting for a singular block today, and additionally the pattern, how it's written, is so that the quilt, each one of these blocks, will be different, more of a scrappy type project. However, I love my two-tone quilts, as you all know, so I'm going to be using a little bit of white and a little bit of blue today. As far as cutting instructions, what is absolutely amazing about this, because if you look at the actual pattern, the block is 50-50, right? They're exact opposites of each other. So our cutting instructions are exactly the same for both of my colors that I'm using today. So let's start off with the blue, but just understand I'm going to be doing the exact same cuts for the white as well. I need some 3-inch squares, some 2.5 by 4.5, some 2.5-inch squares, 1 inch by 8.5, 1 inch by 5-inch strips as well. It looks like a lot. In reality, it's just a lot of repetition here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my 3-inch squares. Now I'll go to my 2-inch, or sorry, my 2.5-inch, and then down to my 1 inch. So guys, I went ahead and cut everything I need for my quilt block here, and as you can see, they're exactly the same on both sides. 3-inch squares, 2.5-inch squares. This is 2.5 by 4.5, 1 inch by 8.5, and then my 1 by 5s, same thing for my white side. Now the only difference really in all the cutting instructions that the pattern has is that you kind of just have to pick what binding that you want, and then you make your binding strips out of whatever color. So as far as sewing goes, what's awesome is pretty much all of these pieces are 100% done. So now it just leaves you with some 3-inch squares. What I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to turn them into half square triangles. All I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to make a line directly across corner to corner. In the actual quilt block itself, I need a total of 4 half square triangles for this side and 4 for this side. So it's going to be a total of 8 half square triangles. So I'll need 4 pieces with that diagonal, because each one of these will be making 2 half square triangles at a time. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam on both sides of the line, which will give me my half square triangles. Do a little chain piece in today. Got these all stitched. I used chain stitching there. I'm gonna grab a pair of scissors. So now that I'm at this point, it's time to cut these things in half. At this point, it's time to square up our half square triangles. They are beautiful, they look amazing. However, they're not perfectly square yet. So I need to be squaring these down to be 2.5-inch squares. So guys, they also make specialty rulers for doing half square triangles. This is called the Clearly Perfect Slot Trimmer Ruler. We have these available on SewYeahQuilting.com. Essentially what you do is you line up the marks of your half square triangle, meaning that there's a seam line here that I'm lining up. And then all you do really is you chop off 2 sides, and then it has little notches in it. That way I can cut off the dog ears. And then once I iron this, it will be a perfect half square triangle. Obviously, faster way does require a special tool. However, you can do it the old way. Both ways work. Now that we've made up our half square triangles, it is time to assemble this amazing block. We're gonna assemble this with one side being white, one side being blue. Now, how you tell them apart really is that I'm gonna put down my center block, which is these 2 pieces here. I'm gonna give it the points. And I'm gonna throw in my 2.5-inch squares on the side here. Nice looking little star there. Now I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but reverse color palette. So now that we've kind of got our block construction laid out here, it's also sashed. Now, if we look back at the quilt, the reason why these kind of sit here floating is because it's got this tiny little sashing all the way around. Super easy to do. I'm gonna add blue, my long skinny strip on the side, and then I'm going to put on my top and bottom here. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. That will be the final construction here. Now, how I like to assemble this is I like to assemble it in 2 halves. So I'm gonna assemble this side here, right down the middle, and I'm gonna assemble this side here and then connect those 2 pieces together. Now, when I'm assembling this, I normally start with my center here. So I'm gonna sew these 2 pieces together. So these to these 2 pieces together, this to this, same thing on the other side. Then I'm gonna add in my long strip to the side, and then I'm gonna cap it off both top and bottom. So first, I'm gonna start off with these half square triangles here. Ironing is gonna be your best friend, so make sure that you are ironing throughout. So now we're gonna add this to this side. So now I'm gonna add this piece on, then the top and bottom here. As you can see, the first half came together beautifully there. Now I'm gonna repeat the exact same steps to the second half, and it's time to combine them. So now that we're at this point, guys, I got both halves done, ready to go. All we gotta do is put that final seam in to connect them. Just like that, our quilt block is complete. It is such a dynamic quilt block. It seems intense. It gives you these really nice illusions of how it kind of floats within the frame. And the two-tone just gives it this drastic difference of color. Couple of rectangles, couple half square triangles, and you're off to the races. It's a fantastic block, and it looks good regardless how you do it. I've seen this in scrappy, I've seen this done with full collections, and even simple with a two-tone quilt. And guys, with that, if you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't be afraid to share it with your friends. As always, down in the description below, we're leaving you guys 2 links. One for the free download, that way you can go to Robert Kaufman's website and download this pattern for free. And additionally, while you're down there, you might as well check out sewyeahquilting.com, where you can find fabric, notions, and much, much more. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.